This is the Outdoor Journey Show, where life takes you outdoors. The Outdoor Journey Show with Matt Gaddis and Ty Morgan, brought to you by Journey Hunts and the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation.
Welcome to the Outdoor Journey Show. My name is Ty Morgan. Matt Gaddis here with us, your host for today's show. And today, obviously it's the big issue in America, and it's guns. When it comes to hunting, that's one of the things you're going to be using. Whether it is a bow, it's still a weapon, or you're using a rifle or shotgun. That's an important question, I think, on everybody's mind.
It is, Ty. And the whole atmosphere in America right now has become one almost of conflict between those who are pro-gun and those who are anti-gun.
Right.
And I think that, on both sides of that equation, pro-gun people have done some things right.
Mm-hmm.
They've done some things wrong.
True.
Anti-gun people have done some things right.
Mm-hmm.
Anti-gun people have done some things wrong. And I just think it comes down to personal preference.
Right.
And what do you want to hold as your personal preference?
So really, it really comes down to living in America. It's about choice. It's about the choices that we were given from our forefathers.
And that's one of the great privileges of living in this great country, the United States of America. We all don't have to believe the same things or like the same things. We have a prerogative that we can, hold on to, that we can believe in. And that's the great freedom that we have in America.
I think too, and everybody has their right to choose, as I've said moments ago. And I think where we say the pro guns and the anti, have gone the wrong way. I feel where the anti is they don't look at, there's certain kinds of guns that have been used in these, horrible situations, and they are horrible, but there are so many millions of Americans that are using them properly, which is for hunting, which is for safety, that kind of get lumped into a bad picture, and it's potentially hurting the hunting industry.
Absolutely. And that's our concern. Our concern is the hunting industry.
Right.
Our concern is the things that we love in the outdoors,
Right.
and for some degree beyond that. But I really look and think, boy, if people have a personal agenda to stop guns, that's more than just being anti-gun on a personal level.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just like I am pro-gun, that doesn't mean that I'm going to be upset or angry on a personal level with somebody who is opposed to guns. It doesn't have to be that. We should be able to sit down, have intelligent conversations with
Right.
facts involved, and really look at where do we stand on this issue? Where are we at on a personal level without getting angry, upset, and furious with each other like I've seen in some debates.
Oh, absolutely.
On this matter.
In some debates, it's, I think they would choose for us to throw rocks at our animals to
Right.
harvest,
Right.
And, having realistic ideas that make sense on both sides, I think are extremely important. And, and to some degree, they've come to some of those, and some of them they won't. And I don't think they ever will.
Right. And again, that's freedom of speech. That's why we can do this radio show.
Right.
That's why we can talk about the things we talk about.
Absolutely.
I have no problem with somebody talking about in an intelligent fashion things that oppose my belief system. That's okay. It's all part of living in this great country. I always come back to the Second Amendment, Ty, on a personal level. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of a people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. I'm a Constitution guy. I love it. I know some of our Constitution is slowly getting set to the side in some ways, but in this area, again, people can choose to believe differently than that Second Amendment. It just becomes an issue when they're trying to get it done away with, get it put away.
Absolutely. Well, and I think too, what everybody is pointing the fingers at is the gun,
Right.
and not the people. And
That's
as
right.
I said earlier when I started, it's all about choices. It's not the gun's choice to go off. It's the person who pulled the trigger. And I think we some organizations or some groups tend to look not even at that situation. Go to the people first, and I think that's where hunting, that's why it's required to do a safety course.
That's right.
That's right. You really go out with mentors because it happens as you've grown up in hunting, and there's many different levels of that, but there is a respect level that you gain with the hunting world because, as I was telling you earlier when off air, we were talking that you can't disrespect nature because nature bites back, and you don't have to worry about the people because nature will get you if you
Yeah, you're
disrespect it. So that's where I think we go wrong in some cases, is we look at the wrong issue. issue.
I agree. And, that's common in culture, and that's where, freedom of speech can sometimes become a negative thing because people talk about things without a proper education,
Right.
without a proper factual viewpoint, and I mean, a gun has never killed a person on its own.
Right.
People kill people, and a gun is just a tool. A gun is no more a killer than a fork makes a person fat.
Right.
You know what I mean? A fork is just a tool that you eat with. What you choose to do with it is where things go astray. And again, from a hunting perspective, I really like the concept of education behind everything that we do with guns. The fact that you get trained, the fact that you have mentorship, the fact that you have to take a hunter safety course, all of that becomes a part of what we do.
Absolutely.
There are some facts that I just want to throw out there for those who are, maybe on the fence. The countries that have the strictest gun control laws also have tended to have the highest homicide rates.
Yeah.
And we need to know that. I mean, we really do. If you look at some of the countries, if you look at some UN statistics in the 2000s era, 2000 to 2010, you'll see that Scotland was a most violent country in the developed world, and it was 3 times more likely to be assaulted than in America, even though it had the strictest gun rules. Violent crime there's doubled in the last 20 years, and 3% of Scots have been victims of an assault compared with only 1.2 in America, where we have freedom, in this decision of guns. And you can just go down the list. If you look at Switzerland, they have relatively lenient laws as far as Europe. And, there's a lot of debate. We think the debate's heavy here in America. In Europe, this debate is very, very hot and has been for many years. But yet, even with that lenient gun control, they have the 3rd lowest homicide rate of the top 9 major European countries. These are the kind of facts that I think people really need to learn.
Absolutely. I think you can even reel it back into a hunting term, too. If you recall a few years back, when I first moved to Colorado, I think it was actually the 2nd or 3rd year I was here that they decided to dispense with the spring bear hunt. Well, it was that spring that we had some 13 or 21, if I recall, bear sightings in the town of Grand Junction, Colorado. And so because there was a holdback there saying no more, well, guess what? There was an issue that happened from that. And I guess you can kind of, compare the two. Take them away, more issues happen. Keep it in place. Hey, things just kind of flow and everything is just fine. And I think there's more safety, as you move along.
Yeah, and I think that is a great comparison between the hunting world and a personal safety issue that we look at with guns, and that's concern of some. And I think that's legit. If you take guns away from people who will legally learn how to use them and obtain them, only outlaws will have guns. And it's true in the hunting world. It's true in a personal safety issue, a personal defense issue. It's true across the board. And the hunting comparison's a great one, because if you look at some countries in Africa right now where hunting has been banned, and our title sponsor is the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. We're all about conservation. And if you look at some of the countries that hunting has been banned in, for example, if you look at Zimbabwe, if you look at Botswana, their populations of animals in just 3 years are down 75% from where they were when hunting was regulated and cared for, and where those animals were taken care of.
So a lot of poaching going on.
Absolutely. And again, wrong people who have wrong uses of those tools.
Absolutely.
And that's what happens when you overregulate any area that has to do with guns, whether it's through hunting or personal defense.
Absolutely. So. It's a scary thought, but you need, I don't want to say you need guns to regulate, but you do. That's the way that the society is. If we don't have protection, whether it's from a bear, whether it's from a person trying to break into your house.
Yeah, here's an interesting statistic that I think it really caught my attention this week. The top 100 countries for homicide do not include the United States. We're not in the top 100. The top 10 countries all have near or total firearm bans.
Wow.
And that to me speaks to the heart of this issue. But again, our goal is to make sure that people who do have guns for any reason, our focus being in hunting for personal defense, whatever it is that reason you want to have a gun, you need to be trained. You need to be mentored. You need to know what you're doing. You need to be safe.
Absolutely.
We talk about that all the time, the issue of safety in the woods. We did a guide show a few weeks ago, and we talked about guiding in the West, and the fact that we never let a hunter, when we're guiding, have a round in the chamber.
Absolutely.
It's a safety issue. That's why I'm a supporter of the Second Amendment. It's not just about, wanting or having this desire. I was trained in the military with weapons. I've had very good training in that area, but I don't have a desire to want to hurt people. I don't have a desire to want to misuse, that weapon, not at all. I want to use things rightly. And a good teacher will always teach you that avoiding conflict is the first stage at all times, and it's something we need to do, and if we don't protect the Second Amendment and if we don't guard that, the hunting factor, guns being used in hunting will become an issue.
Absolutely.
Because it's a progressive thought. It's something that grows. It doesn't just stop.
I think the archery industry will boom.
Yeah.
We'll say that. But, you can't take that away because there are some people who can't pull a bow back, and that is the only way that they can harvest an animal. And I think that's why it's important to, as you said earlier in the beginning of the show, is let's sit down and have a reasonable, educated discussion and work through it. We understand you have your side, we have ours, and let's be real about it.
Right. And that's something that unfortunately doesn't get done often. Most of the debates I hear and the ones that get the most attention are the ones with the most conflict. And that's really unfortunate because it doesn't have to be that way. An intelligent discussion will help us all to understand better where we need to stand on personal issues.
Right.
We need to do everything as outdoorsmen. As outdoorsmen, we need to do everything we can to get as many people as possible. People that we are training, mentoring. We need to make sure they're safe with guns. We need to make sure they understand the use of not only guns, of all weapons, and we need to be actively involved in making sure that they properly know how to care for and use a gun if that's going to be their weapon of choice.
Absolutely.
It's a responsibility we all hold. I believe in the concept of right knowledge being rightly applied. And you got to get the right knowledge, first of all. And that means, you have to know what you're doing with a weapon if you're going to train somebody with a weapon.
Absolutely.
And then you have to know how to rightly apply it. Then it becomes a process of training, continued mentorship. And that's why we have people like the Rocky Mountain Gun Club here in town. Shad Knowlton, owner of the Rocky Mountain Gun Club, in town doing exactly that, training people the right way. If you have any questions for us, by the way, you can email us, Matt, at JourneyHunts.com, and we'll be glad to answer those on the air. And if you get your question read on the air, you're going to get a Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation knife set.
Yeah, they've donated some knives to us. That's a pretty cool deal.
Absolutely.
Coming up, we'll be talking with Shad from the Rocky Mountain Gun Club in just a moment.
This is the Outdoor Journey Show, where life takes you outdoors. This is the Outdoor Journey Show, where life takes you outdoors. The Outdoor Journey Show with Matt Gatus and Ty Morgan, brought to you by Journey Hunts and the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation.
Matt Gatus and Ty Morgan with the Outdoor Journey Show. Ty, we're talking about something that's dear to our heart, talking about, proper care and really understanding how to deal with weapons. Because it's part of our outdoor world. It's part of our life. It's part of what we do. And we have Shad Knowlton, owner of the Rocky Mountain Gun Club, in the studio with us. Shad, welcome.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Shad, tell us the story, honestly, of your entire deal of getting going with the Rocky Mountain Gun Club, because what you have is a special place.
Thanks, bud. Appreciate it. It's about 5 years in the process right now. 2 years of construction, a couple years of thought and how we're going to lay it out. Realistically, how it came about was essentially got tired of being shot at out on 27 and a quarter road, go down to fix our targets. A few people are a little too impatient to wait for us to fix our targets up, and next thing you know, there's a couple shots ringing out while we're downrange. A couple other fellas are downrange too, and just a completely unsafe situation out there. Thought there had to be a better place to go shoot and started doing some searching in the valley, and turns out there was nothing of that caliber open to anybody in the public. So the little wheel started turning, and about 5 years later, this is what we came out with. It's a 45,000 square foot facility, 4,000 square foot retail space. We have classrooms upstairs, teach a variety of classes from basic pistol to full-on tactical training. We have in-house gunsmith, archery. We have an archery bay, a pistol bay, and a actual tactical rifle bay, which is really unique. Gives law enforcement agencies the ability to drive a squad car onto the range and do a dynamic firing drill straight from their vehicle and move downrange. We have 48 feet side-to-side movement and 75 foot long. So we have a pretty good environment for them to come in and train.
Well, and Ty and I have both been to your facility.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Oh, it's describing and giving the information and the facts you're out do not even begin to do justice to what you've created and what's come about. I mean, because it is simply, in all of my travel and everywhere I go, it is simply the best gun club that I have ever walked in. I mean, from appearance, from quality of service, quality of training, the things that you have to sell, from guns to bows to equipment to cases. I mean, you've partnered with some incredible companies and you really offer some great things. And it's neat to me to hear about the fact that this was birthed really out of a safety issue, because with the whole gun issue in America where it is today and the attack really that has come on guns and those who own guns, boy, it's important. Safety is a serious factor.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're real fortunate to have the quality of people that we have working with us right now. Top-notch people, ex-law enforcement, some of them are ex-military, some of them have both backgrounds. So we're real fortunate to have those people with us. Absolutely, safety is one of our main goals out there, on top of teaching people the proper techniques on how to handle weapons. But absolutely, safety is number one priority out there at the range.
Well, and I noticed too, after, touring a couple times there and with you, and you guys went that extra mile to bring in the experts to make sure that each of these separate, sets of facilities, from the pistols to the archery, because you actually even at some point even redid the archery because you had some issues. It's like it's got to be right, it's got to be safe, and so that being the top tier, you didn't spare any expense to make sure everything was absolutely perfect.
Yeah, that's right. We, from just the baffling system in the archery bay to the different lines that we have, to our air filtration system, it's not just a system actually sucking the air out of the main building, but the actual bullet trap itself has a separate air handling unit to help get that lead dust out of the way and keep the area safe for everybody to come in.
Now, what does your company, what does Rocky Mountain Gun Club bring to the community? Let's talk about this from a community aspect.
That's a good question. Our main goal to bring to the community is a safe family environment to come shoot. We absolutely think that the outdoors around here are absolutely amazing. They're beautiful. That's what brings us back here. Unfortunately, there are the people that go out there that do shoot and leave their garbage and other stuff out in the desert. That's not what we do at our place. Our place is clean, fun, family, friendly environment to come shoot. We have restrooms for ladies, shoot stalls for the kids. It's climate controlled, so when it's hot outside, it's nice and cool inside, and vice versa. When it's nice and cold outside, it's nice and warm in there. Basically, what we have for the community is a place that's climate controlled, a friendly family environment for everybody to come shoot, not just the avid hunters or shooters. That's a family environment for sure.
Well, and you've talked already about a focus that you have for law enforcement and for training for law enforcement guys. And that's a great thing. Again, being able to pull a squad car into that facility and train from that, train for any scenario, not just a car scenario, but man, you guys set up scenarios for everything, and you're continuing to even expand that and what your capabilities are. But let's talk specifically, what do you have to offer for the listeners who are just outdoors people, hunters? What do you have to offer for that segment of our area here, of our culture?
Well, we got a great place to come. For our bow hunters, especially archery people, we have an amazing spot for you to come. Make sure your bow's right on for the hunting season. For our long range guys, we're actually in the process right now of talking with some existing ranges to get some setups out there for our long-range shooters. Unfortunately, we're only 25 yards indoors, so we can't technically accommodate long-range shooters, although we can have just the quick occasional large caliber gun go off. We can definitely handle that, but it's mostly for our archers and stuff. It's a really great place for them to come, get their bow dialed right in on that 20-yard mark. That way they're not going to miss anything that comes up close. For our hunters, we have tons of ammo. It's coming in, lots of hunting calibers, anything ranging from basically 22 to 50 cal. We have it in stock. We have it all ready to go right now for everybody.
And you don't limit. One of the cool things that I saw is you don't limit the amount of ammunition that anybody can buy.
No, absolutely not. If you want to buy 20,000 rounds, you can buy 20,000 rounds. You get policed enough. We're not here to do that.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. What about a focus on, Ty and I talk regularly on the show about the fact that in Colorado, the average hunter is 52 years of age and predominantly male. Mm-hmm. What are you offering to youth? What are you offering to ladies in the area of the Rocky Mountain Gun Club? What are you guys offering to just overall help youth and ladies engage in the shooting sports?
For the ladies, we have a class that's going on. I believe it's every Wednesday night or Thursday night. It's a ladies' league. They can come in, hang out with other ladies that enjoy doing the same thing they do. We have one-on-one instruction available for those that do need it. And then we have other instructors that will be there to help out with any type of malfunctions or any questions they may have. It's just a great place for ladies to get together, talk about what holsters work for them, what concealed bags work better for them, and hopefully give each other some different ideas on better stuff, better gear to find. As far as the youth program, what we're doing is teaching all that next generation of shooters the proper way to how to handle firearms and sidearms, that they're not a scary thing. It's just an inanimate object until the person actually picks it up. So we're teaching a lot of responsibility and accountability out there as well.
Did I hear you speak to the fact that a gun really is not an object that kills anyone? Is that what I heard you say? is that what I heard you say? It's actually a person who has to pull the trigger?
It's amazing as it sounds. Yeah. It has to be the person behind the gun. Is just an object, same thing as a rock or a hammer or anything else. It's the person wielding it and their intentions behind it that's usually bad, unfortunately.
Yeah, Ty, I couldn't let that pass.
No, I was waiting. If you weren't, I was gonna. So.
Tell us about your membership, Rocky Mountain Gun Club. How do people get involved? How do they get involved and become a part of what your great offering is, what you have to offer there?
You don't actually have to be a member to come in and shoot, but memberships does have its benefits. It helps out a lot with purchase. You have a 5% discount on all purchases if you sign up. We offer a 20% discount on the initial purchase of your membership for any law enforcement, military, or any service background, as far whether it's firemen or paramedics. They do enough out there, so we figure we give them a good break, and then they still get their 5% discount on top of that. It's unlimited range time for people that do sign up to be members, although it's an hour. It's an hour for $20. For that $20, you get to keep your eye protection. So when you decide to come back, it's only $15 from then on. Members definitely have access to our members lounge, of course. It's a beautiful members lounge. More of a place just to come, hang out, fib about the size of your fish you caught that weekend. We have a 70-inch and a 90-inch TV, so we don't miss any of the football games. We have an amazing outdoor patio. We can accommodate 90 to 120 people as far as guests go. So any type of party, bachelor party, bachelorette party, birthdays, we can do that all there too as well.
Good deal. Well, the facility, folks, you need to go see it. Rocky Mountain Gun Club. What is your address?
It's 545 31 Road.
And basically off of the business loop, you're going to turn onto 31 Road, and you're one block off of the business loop, correct?
Absolutely, right behind All Terrain Motorsports, in between there and Central High School.
And a website and a phone number?
Website's www.rmgcgj.com. And our phone number is 970-523-RMGC or 7642.
Well, Shad, it's been a pleasure to have you on board and talking about some of the amazing things over there. Look forward to having you come back anytime.
Thanks, guys.
Don't forget, you can always email questions. It's an opportunity to win with the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation as well. Email your questions to Matt@JourneyHunts.com.
This is the Outdoor Journey Show, where life takes you outdoors.